Naan Fiction. This is the show where we talk about all the nitty-gritty of what it means to be an Asian living outside of Asia, from diversity, representation, and the whole immigrant experience. And today we're talking allyship with none other than Canadian superstar Jully Black.
Do you want some food first, or you want to just get into it?
It's your party. You can cry.
It's our party, man. This is our party. Okay, I am so excited. This was, not to shade everybody else, but like this is the one I'm super excited for.
Really? Why?
Well, because
you know I'm gonna ask you back questions, right? So hello.
I know. Damn it. Who's interviewing who?
I'm like, why? Why are you so
this?
excited?
No, because every time I watch one of your Instagrams, I see you, talking on every show in Canada, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I leave smiling.
Oh, thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Even in like the saddest moments that you share, I leave feeling like, oh, Jully.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm having dry. You'll know when it's that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm totally fine to be vulnerable. So.
Oh, me too. Okay. So we're gonna start out with just like a rapid fire. Get to know Jully.
Okay.
Biggest pet peeve.
Ooh, biggest pet peeve.
What annoys you?
People licking their fingers in public. That bugs me.
Like after
reason.
Cheetos?
After anything. Keep your fingers out your mouth. Keep your fingers out your mouth. I feel like I have another one, but we'll just run with that one.
I want to know the other one.
Yeah? Pet peeve. The black girls probably ain't gonna like me for this.
Say it.
When the braids on your head are growing off your head, they need to be redone.
I knew you.
Your braid shouldn't be growing off your head.
I didn't say it.
When I can't
She
see
said it.
the parts, when I can't see your scalp anymore because the braids have now grown together, get your hair redone. And the guys too, because I've seen some NBA players. I've seen some NBA players and stuff, like back in the Allen Iverson days. I'm like, AI. It's not AI chat, like AI. You got money. You should get your hair. You could get your hair redone every day. So anyway, yeah.
All-time favorite food if this was the only food that you could have?
My mom's stew peas and rice.
Oh,
yeah. Said I can eat every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time travel. If you could time travel to any era, past, present, future. Sorry, time travel, so past or future. Where would you go and why?
Ooh. Where would I go and why? I go back to Jamrock. And I can't say why. Welcome to Jamrock Cruise 2023, Jamaica. Put that on loop.
Yeah?
Put that on loop.
That was a recent one.
That's right. Put it on loop.
Okay.
Put it on loop.
We'll talk about that after.
I mean, you could talk about it. I don't know if I'm going to say. Put that on loop. Put it on loop. Yeah.
Dream dinner guest. So, dinner here of 3 people. Who are you inviting to dinner?
Ooh, who am I? That's awesome question. Have me yelling.
Thank you, producer Katie.
Okay, producer Katie. Shout out to producer Katie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shout outs. So who would I invite? I would invite God. I would invite my mother.
And your mother was going to be on this
and me. Is there a third person plus?
Yeah.
Me plus 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dinner for 4.
Yeah. 4, okay. Table for 4 is God. It's my mother. And it's my future husband. Yeah.
Do we know him? Do we know his name?
No, that you know what I mean. I'm not. It's everything.
I know.
Because God knows everything, right?
Yes.
My mom,
yes.
My mom has lived through some things,
Yes.
so she could also get some answers to some of the things that she might have gone through. That etc. Right? And I'm sitting there hearing my mom hear what God's real plan was for her, right? And I'm there going through life, learning and saying, "Oh wow." And the person that's supposed to protect and provide for me is there listening to all of it and getting some instructions and divine direction on how he'll take care of me for the rest of our lives.
Bucket list? 1 item on your bucket list that you are determined to accomplish.
Grammys.
Yeah. Let's
Grammys
talk.
and Canadian Screen Actors Award. So
Yeah.
the CSA would make me like our EGOT.
Yes.
Right. I won the Juno,
Yeah.
won the Dora Award, won the
Yeah.
Gemini, all the things. I
That's
won
our
all
like
those
our
awards,
EGOT.
right? So
yeah.
I'm just missing the CSA in Canada.
I love that.
It's a benchmark,
Yeah.
right? So if you never ever get it, it's like one of those. What do they say? Shoot for. What is that saying? Shoot for the stars and you land on the moon or something? Like what? Shoot for the moon and you land in Jane and Finch, something, right? Ultimately, you'll land somewhere that's gonna put you somewhere else. So my thing is like to know that there's an opportunity to like. Okay, look at this. So there's professional athletes,
Yes.
right? Millionaires, damn near billionaires at times, depending on how they invested their money.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they still want the ring. LeBron is still playing for the ring,
It's so true.
right?
Yeah, it's
None
true.
of them need the ring.
No, it's for yourself,
Right.
right? It's that
And
ambition
camaraderie
and drive.
and
Yeah,
teamwork and
yeah,
you know
that's
what
a
I mean?
good.
So when I win,
good
my
to know.
team wins. It's a whole. It's all of us. It's like, oh, that's Julie's manager. That's
Yeah.
Julie's makeup artist.
Well,
That's
as you
Julie's
see, the
guitar
acceptance
player.
speech is like a list of 25 people because nobody did it on their own.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, superpower. One superpower.
Vulnerability.
I love
That's
that.
my ultimate superpower.
I love that.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I gravitate towards you is because you are not afraid. Like you said, your superpower to show your vulnerability, right?
There you go. Am I chomping real hard, guys?
No, we
I
like
feel
that.
like I'm chomping hard.
We like that. It's raw. It's real.
Okay.
Yeah, and you, and not in the middle of our food. I mean, you shared something really vulnerable earlier this week,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
But in that, even in like such an upsetting, vulnerable moment, how you do in your Julie way, you brought hope, and your message was so fierce to the men out there. Take care of yourself. Go see your doctor.
Yeah. Vulnerability is my superpower, like I said. And I like that the more real and more raw, transparent. Like my hair wasn't even combed. I had my hoodie on. I was like on my couch, just thinking about a family member, 40 years old, who complained about chest pains the day before and was sent home with a requisition. And the next day on the phone with the mother of his child, and phone drops, they go find him, he's dead. And his baby will be born in a month, right? So we all know no one's getting out of here alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But the truth of the matter is there's things that are preventable and things that are treatable.
Yes.
And I'm just tired of it. I know people literally as an audible men that said, I'd rather save my erection than do prostate cancer treatment. Like as an audible.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I feel this in Black communities, brown communities as well. There's some sort of like this feeling of being less masculine to go to a doctor. Like they feel emasculated to go to the doctor to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how we break them away. Like I'm saying this like from my Indian background again, even like with uncles and, family members. Like they just won't seek out that help because they feel like, no, I can handle everything myself. You can't handle everything yourself. But that's that feeling. Yeah,
I think it's even more so how society has defined sexuality.
Yeah.
Right? Who has access to that area.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So whether it's a colonoscopy, whether it's prostate test, etc., like it's really getting to that point, that level of comfort and knowing that this is medical, not sexual.
Yeah. Totally.
So it's that part,
Yeah.
I would say.
In brown and Black communities, I've heard it like so many times about like, what's it called when like guy gets his thing? Oh my God. Like
What?
so.
The prostate test?
No, not the prostate. What's it called?
Erection?
No, so you don't have babies. Oh my God. what's wrong with me?
Give it to us, guys.
Oh my God.
Vasectomy.
Vasectomy.
Mhm.
Sorry. Yeah.
I was like, castrate?
Yeah, then my husband would really kill me. No, so
Castration.
So yeah, even vasectomy, there's this whole thing around it, like, oh, it's so emasculating to a guy and all this kind of like.
Listen, let me cut you off because I have American friends, men that were like, yeah, snip that, let's go.
So this is what I love my husband for, because I told you, like, I have health issues and both my kids were born preemie. When my daughter, she had to have an emergency C-section, surgeon is doing that. My husband's like, oh, where do I go for my surgery? I'm like, yo, let's finish this up.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
love.
went.
That's
He
support.
went right away because he knew for me to get another surgery would be a lot, and we don't want to go through this again
Because your sex life is popping, so you want to make sure.
And
Hello.
so I love that he did that. But there are so many guys I know. Somebody was joking around about it the other day, like, "Oh no, man, I would never do that." Like,
I think it's just ignorance, right? It's like it's educate to elevate. So once the education is there, and I think also if more men that have done it will testify
yeah,
that it's all good.
Yeah.
And on the flip side too, women too, right?
Yes.
There's a whole thing around hormones, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. There's a stigma around it. It's like, even there's some men that'll be like, oh, it's a menopause, like menopause. I'm hot, so it must be menopause. Like these jokes.
yeah,
Right? And it's that's where it'll silence more women from even speaking about what's going on. I think it goes a couple generations back even, and first of all, to offer grace to our mothers and grandmothers that didn't speak about it at all.
yeah,
Didn't have the support. The information wasn't out there. Most of the tests that were done to find out certain things were done on men.
Mhm.
So that's a whole other part of it,
Yeah.
So realizing that like perimenopause is like from 35 years old.
yeah,
That's not just now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, oh, I have PMS, or oh, my period's inconsistent,
Mhm.
or oh, I vomit when I have my period. Oh, like all these signs were actual signs.
Yes.
Joint pain.
Yeah.
There's even something called stiff shoulder.
yes. I have a lot of friends that have that right now.
Stiff shoulder.
Yes,
Right? And so I'm really an advocate in the health and wellness space,
Mhm.
and really taking agency over your health
yes,
and understanding like, okay, so if I have to go to a doctor for something, I need to be able to tell them what my
Mhm.
symptoms are. So how do you create kind of like a clear enough space
Yeah.
where you're healthy enough to be like, oh, well, I'm not constipated, or I don't have irritable bowel, et cetera, but there's still something. Let me go check that thing.
Yeah.
But if there's so many other things going on,
Yeah.
It's confusion in there.
And I think we have to be we have to be advocates for ourselves and pay attention to. I
Mhm.
think so many people like push down, ignore what's going on in their body.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Fear.
think we have to, fear. I'm more like, I want to face it head on and like tackle it as fast as I can, because the longer I wait, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. Early detection for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, especially I think more in the Black community, even there might be a hesitancy because there is Indigenous communities as well. There is an unfair, a particular way that people are treated.
Okay,
Oh.
I heard all types of feet coming up. I was like,
Sorry, we're eating so slow. Here.
come on. Well, fun fact about me is I'm not really a dessert person. I'm savory over sweet. So
Really?
you can leave chocolate, you can leave any sweets in my house for days, weeks, months. Won't touch it.
I'm opposite.
Give me some ketchup chips though, it's a problem.
Oh yeah, chips. But if there is like a tub of ice cream, I have to eat actually the whole thing.
Oh,
Same
wow.
like a chocolate bar. I can't just have a bite and leave it.
Mm.
I need to like finish it.
This naan is dangerous.
Which one is that one?
It's different too. I don't know which one. That one.
So good, right?
And that one.
Apparently this is a Michelin star,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't
Who
mess
knew this was
around.
in our city?
I know. Well, now
Who
now
found this?
people
Kate?
will know.
Kate found this? Who found this place for you?
Katie? No, I found
You found
this.
it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I do work as well.
Not just a pretty face, huh? Of course you do work.
I do the hard. This is the thing about indie productions.
Mm-hmm.
Like we wear like 25 different hats.
Yeah, you should have
And-
creative control at least.
Uh
To
huh.
control your narrative.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gotta tell our own stories.
Fishing for chicken in here.
Mm.
Steaming.
Oh yeah.
Come get some, guys.
So you were honored last year at the AFN Special Chiefs Assembly, Ottawa, for national anthem change at the NBA All-Star Game last February. One word made a mighty difference.
Oh, Canada, our home on a native land.
Did you ever think that would have the impact that it had on the entire nation? It went all over the world. People were talking about it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't do it for that reason. So I
No.
didn't think about what impact it would have. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I'm grateful for sure. It was because I did it for a meaningful reason. That there was no motive behind it.
Yeah.
There was no like, oh. And I tell people now, I look back and I'm like, how many times being in the music business for 30 years and like, hire the best publicists and what's the marketing plan? And still, those are important factors. But I realize that's why I say God is my publicist, because I made a choice, and that choice is what put me into rooms that I had never been in before.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and continue a dialogue and have people listen to me in a different way. So now I have, it's like it's hide in the kale in the smoothie. Like, what else, what other causes, does it make sense for me to lend my voice to?
Yeah. And I mean, I think that one move made so many people feel seen and feel heard.
Thank you.
And, I've heard this about allyship. Like, I wanted to specifically talk to you about allyship in several different ways. I heard somebody say something, it was recently saying, I'm an ally. I'm an ally to the marginalized communities. And I'm like, I don't know if you get to say you're an ally.
Yeah, I often say you can't nominate yourself. Like, basically, whatever community that you're passionate about supporting, do the work.
I was going to say we do the work,
but meaning whomever the ally is, like my mom would say, what you do in private will be rewarded in public.
Yes.
So I think that's the energy. Like, what are you doing behind the scenes? Like the word switch wasn't my first time standing up for Indigenous folks.
Yes.
Right? So, so the cool thing is there's receipts. In the past.
But here's the really shitty thing about this.
You can say shit here?
Oh,
okay.
Sure.
Well, shit.
I mean, for every good, there's a bad. And like trolls is an understatement.
That's not shit. That's not shitty. That's called clarity through contrast.
Okay, let's talk about that. Because to me, I think so many people, like even people around you, felt scared for you because these were not just trolls. They were like very hateful people coming for you.
Well, okay, so we didn't take it lightly. I have an amazing team for sure. Make sure that the authorities were informed, because the last thing you want is something to happen. And it's like, why didn't you inform the authorities? But what I will say is, I just put up a post today. It's a paraphrase, but my makeup artist and good friend Deborah, she was talking about like, okay, well, you can't experience hot without the cold.
Yes.
Right. And until you have dated a boy, you'll never know when you got a man in your life. Yes. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's no time is wasted. Everything happens for the right reason. So it's about growth and evolution. I think sometimes humans can get stuck in, this is how I am. Yeah. It's just me. I've always been this way. And then humans wonder why your past is passing you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's true.
So I'm grateful for the compassion and the empathy and for what people felt, because fear, the response from outsiders was like, fear. Yeah. We're afraid for you, right? Yeah. But if I really lean into my faith, it's like, I don't know if it's gonna, hit by a car, a plane drops out the sky, you get cancer. You don't know when your number's gonna be called or how it's gonna be called. Yeah. So that's why I lean into whatever my divine destiny is. That's what it's gonna be. But at the very end of the day, at the minimum, I'm gonna go out with a legacy that I stood in the gap for somebody.
Yes. I feel that so deeply. So it's interesting because of my background, which I'll share with you. Have you seen Ava DuVernay's film Origin?
Yeah, I went to the screening.
Right.
When she was here. Yeah. It was on my birthday. They screened it on my birthday.
Oh, at TIFF?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was there too. Yeah, because I interviewed her during TIFF. So that film, that was like the most hot mess interview of my life, because when I interviewed Ava, I was sobbing like a baby, because I am born untouchable, and everything that you see in that film is what my own father went through. Like he wasn't allowed to drink from, like they poured the water like this because he's dirty. He had to go home. Like he had to put his head in the mud if an upper caste person walks by. Like that. Do you remember the scene when they go into the right? Feces. Like so yeah. It shook me, because that's my real life. And those are my real relatives still who are in India. And it's as we migrate to all of these different places, caste followed me my entire life, even though I've never lived a day in India. And so it's weird for me as an Indian person because we experience that as untouchable is supposed to be like not a nice word, right? It's like now it's like considered like the N-word. Don't say it. I like to say it because it is such an ugly word to call me untouchable. So I still say the word untouchable. But it's like within our own Indian community, we're not accepted people, and then we're not accepted from the outside. And so my closest friends, a lot of them are Black women who have supported me when I finally started talking about it, because only until I was 40 did I even have the guts to talk about it because I was so scared. And I feel like the special relationship more so with the Black community than my own community, because I feel like, and that's why I asked you about the movie, there is that connection that we have, and that film I think really showed it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm listening and I'm like, I'm curious, like, is your husband Black?
No, my husband is West Indian. Yeah.
So this is where sometimes it get interesting for me, because Black people suffer extreme racism at the hands of South Asian people.
Yeah, that is
people,
in here.
Pakistani
That is
people,
in here, and I wanted to talk
right?
about that.
And so sometimes it makes me wonder if it's unconscious for South Asian people to treat Black people less than, because there's that experience through the pathology, through the bloodline, through the lineage. It's actually like something that was just not conscious, not in a malicious way that's like premeditated. But there's a I talk about it when I say the word BIPOC.
Yeah.
Because there's the Black, the Indigenous, but the POC.
Yeah.
The POCs don't really consider the Black and Indigenous per se, because they're the accepted. You are the accepted.
Yeah.
And the ethnicity that white people are extraordinarily comfortable giving the pass for features, for code switching, for texture of your hair, all the things, right? And that's what's here in Canada, and especially because we're not a melting pot. So as we hold on to our various identities, which is fine, it's beautiful, hold on to your identity, we have to be mindful that, okay, so wait, now as a result of us being Black and strong, brown and strong, how are we actually building a bridge? More so than burning the bridge.
Because that's my whole thing. And that's why I had a really hard time when it was during the George Floyd protests. And, I'm not afraid. Yes, I love, I'm proud to be an Indian. I'm not afraid of calling out the things that are wrong about our culture. And there's so many of them. And during those protests, there was all of these, Indian people, wearing the Black Lives Matter shirt, out there posting these posts on, like, to me, what was very performative activism. And I was like, so much hypocrisy in that, because I'm like, if you can't even treat the own people within your community with respect, and then you're going out there, like, looking for the, oh, good on you, kind of, pat on the back. It really got my ire. And that's why I'm glad even we're having the discussions around race, and then seeing it in different forms of, we're all in this caste system, which is essentially superiority, inferiority.
That's right.
Right? Don't mix the bloodlines, dehumanize. I feel like that isn't, let's look at Palestine, like, let's look at Congo, let's look at South Sudan, like, all of these things are happening.
Look at my great-grandmother, that is a daughter of a slave master that couldn't marry white, right? And had to marry Black, and treated her own kids like outcasts based on their shade.
Yes.
This is in Jamaica in the 10?
Yeah.
It's just the other day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's to take that history and to not allow it to create a callous on your life and on your mindset, but to know that they did what they knew, not to justify it. Now it's like, when we know better, we must do better.
This is the thing. So, there was that saying, and it stood with me from the movie, and she said, the house has creaks in it because the foundation is unstable. And we can say, we didn't do that. I didn't own slaves. I didn't treat Jewish people back. I didn't do all of these things, but now we're the inhabitants of that house. And how we move forward, that is on us. And so to me, it is really, really important to have that conversation of, I want that allyship between Black and brown communities, because I don't think it's there. And maybe I see it differently from my own upbringing, because I felt like I wasn't fully accepted either. And I feel sort of like, where am I? I don't really belong in any camp. And it shouldn't even be a camp. I want there to be allyship, and I want people to listen, because you always have the gems of wisdom.
Thank you.
For all of the people getting it wrong, what the hell do we need to do to get it right?
I don't think it's right and wrong. I think it's really, one, not painting everybody with one brush.
Yes,
right? And knowing that any sort of resistance energy is not going to impact change. If I went through life, why aren't you doing this for Black people? And what's up, Indigenous folks? How come you ain't standing up for us? Then I wouldn't even flip the word.
Yeah.
I would have stood there and said, I have this opportunity to sing this anthem. And I'm going to do it for me because I'm going to be on TV.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right? So it's okay to have, it's okay to feel. Right? It's just, what are you doing? How are you allowing those feelings to inform your next step? Your next decision, your peer group, the jobs that you take, it's really granular. And I think if you go, I said this before, and there's another interview or something, like, you go through life, you're saying that, I'm loving, I'm kind, I'm all the things, but then you get squeezed. Pressure's on you, and you're supposed to be an apple, and then grapefruit juice came out.
Yep. And that's when you see the true colors of a person.
Yeah. Right. And it should be, okay, you see it, but do they see it?
Yeah.
Right. And I've had to go through life in the last couple of years and make some major edits of people, places, and things.
Yeah. And do you find, because I found that since I became more vocal, I saw who are the people that stood behind me, and who are the people that just stayed completely silent. And to me, the silence is what's deafening. And yeah, I did a big edit.
Yeah, man, the edit's great. Life's lifing. Look what, let me have some of this food. Life is lifing since the edit. Like, there are people who I was giving access to my life because of seniority and not because of loyalty.
Yes.
So that's is it seniority or is it loyalty? I could have met you last week and you're more loyal than somebody I've known since kindergarten.
Yeah. So. And it's the whole, oh my God, you've changed. You're talking about all these other serious things and you've changed. I'm like, of course I've changed. I'm not the same person I was.
No one has the audacity to tell me I've changed. If they're that audacious, they're taking
I don't have the Jully fire.
No. You don't need a Jully fire. You have your own fire.
But yeah, I think that's when I realized I need to cut a certain energy out of my life.
It looks like it's working for you. About 7 cameras up in here.
You got 7 cameras up in here.
Looks like it's working for you.
Have you seen my bank account, my friend?
Hello. Listen, holla.
Yeah.
I'll quote what Denzel Washington said about that bank account. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. Take that one in.
Look at my little mic.
Use it. You're using it for good.
Yeah. Well, there's this new show on Netflix actually, and the concept I love. It's called Make Your Rich Life, and it's not about money. Like the Netflix free promo. It's not about making money. It's like, what is your rich life? To some people, a rich life is being able to pick their kids up from school. For some people, a rich life is being able to vacation 2 months out of the year.
I tell you, that's a rich life for me.
A rich life doesn't have to be money. And I was like, because sometimes it's a new show. And so it starts off with like they're talking about money, and like some people who have very little money, some people will have a ton of money. But the host, I think he's some sort of like financial author and whatever. He really takes them through like, what's your rich life? Yeah. And I loved it because it got me thinking about mine. Because sometimes you unconsciously, like, you look or you can't help. They say comparison is the thief of joy. And sometimes it happens and you're like, why am I not this? What, all of these stupid thoughts come in your head. And I'm like,
that's stupid. They're valid.
But I'm like, no. When I saw that, I was like, wait, but I am living my rich life. Yeah, I don't have the highest salary. I don't have this. I don't have that. But all the things I do have, which really count, if I was to drop dead tomorrow, I have those. So
Yeah.
I'm living my rich life.
Yeah, I love that. I'm gonna have to check that show out.
Yeah.
I often think about just riches versus wealth,
Yes.
you know, and the whole health is wealth. Like, what good is wealth without health?
Yeah.
So that's the area to focus on. You know, some people who have conventional jobs are waiting until retirement to travel. Like, why are you waiting till retirement? Like, your bones are different, joints are different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, one of my closest friends always says, number one, don't wish away your days.
Yes.
And every day is a Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, and people are waiting till Friday. I can't wait till the weekend.
Yes.
Why do that on Monday,
Yes.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah, it's so true. I
You
talk
know?
about that with my friends as well, because some of them are like hustling this hard life, and they're like, yeah, they can't wait till the weekend. And I'm like, no, every day should be not a good day, but that should be the type of life you want to live every day. Or, you know, I can't wait till vacation.
Yeah, this bread's a problem, by the way. You can lie. Bread's a problem. Anyway, I'm keeping it real. Yeah.
It's good. Do you know how much business this restaurant's gonna get now?
They're Michelin.
Oh yeah, they're Michelin stars.
Shit.
They don't need us.
Since we can say shit. Shit.
But they gave us the whole floor,
It's amazing. I need to get their information.
right?
I want to do an event here.
I want to be invited.
Yeah. For women. We should do something. We'll talk about it.
Okay. Yeah.
This is my first time doing an interview. No, second time. Nope.
Make sure you do a close up of
On
that.
that one. Where we just eating. You know, I like this idea.
Okay,
We should
did
put
you-
this under. This should be the standard, right? Okay, Matt?
Yeah. Well, because the show's called Naan Fiction, and it's like real stories served with spice.